Okay, the rabbit hole goes deeper in the Infinity Nikki situation, guys. Somebody did mention on one of my previous videos that apparently there may be a botting situation going on with Infinity Nikki. So I thought, you know what? Let's take a look. So I had a little scour around Reddit and on Steam myself, and there may be something to this. There may be something to this. Who it is, who can say? I'm not blaming the developers, and I'm not accusing any individual of anything or any corporate individual of anything, right? But this doesn't look good at all. So we'll have a little read through this post, and then we'll have a little look as well, because I found some that look super sus to me as well. So let's have a look at this post here. This is from Master on the Infinity Nikki subreddit. I may have found proof that some of the most recent positive Steam reviews are not only fake, but probably were purchased. I was browsing the reviews on Steam this evening and started to notice a pattern in some of the recent positive reviews. So I did some digging. Most of the Chinese reviews that have less than 4 hours of playtime are for profiles set to private. No other reviews have Steam and have Steam level 0. Initially, I thought, maybe it just hides all of the info if it's set to private. I found out another group of viewers that were not set to private. Now, of course, obviously, some people do just have their account set to private, so you're not going to see what's on there, right? And just because somebody has low playtime on a game doesn't mean that the review is a dodgy review. You've got to take into account as well, sometimes there's a lot of meme reviews on Steam as well, right? But you know, some people will go to make a review on a game within an hour of playing the game. Now, of course, when you're looking at reviews, you should always look at the amount of time that somebody's played a game. If you're going to take it as gospel, which you should never do, you should always play a game for yourself. And whether it's positive or negative, always play it for yourself. But it's just something to think about, right? You know, obviously, somebody who's played a lot of hours on a game, you can at least say they've got a grasp of the game in its entirety, or they've experienced enough to give, like, you know, a bit of context to the situation. Or even if somebody has got low time on a game, they can make a review, and I think it can be fair, depending on what they're actually saying, though. They all have the same traits as others, except they all review the exact same set of 4 games, all with low play times. The other games are also new and are suffering from negative reviews. One of them is called Delta Force Black Hawk Down. This tells me the bot farm was purchased to make fake reviews for games that are failing on Steam. The other clue I found is these fake reviews all occur in groups. You'll find some set to private with low playtime, some with only 4 games, all the same games with low playtimes. That is definitely suspect, right? That is definitely suspect. Why? Especially, why is there such a big contingent of Infinity Nikki players playing Delta Force as well? It's an unusual crossover, right? But I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but a little bit suspect if you ask me. There's some with more or fewer games. They all occur in a row with the same play times and games they have reviewed. I reported this fraudulent activity to Steam, but it may take a long while before they fix it, so I've reported the fake reviews too. I wanted to let this community be aware that fraud is happening, and more than likely these reviews were purchased. I can't say if Infold did it, but it doesn't seem like something a random person would do, especially for 2 very unrelated games. Please check it for yourself. The easiest way is to filter reviews set to positive only, all languages, playtime, right? Yeah, okay. Now, I'm not accusing Infold of this. I just want to get that out there right away, right? I'm not making any accusations here. It could be another individual or group. Let's not pretend there isn't some manic communities in the gacha space that would, you know, it wouldn't shock me if there were individuals going out the way to do this, right? To make their game look better. They may be angry about the reception the game's been getting recently. You know, some people, it doesn't matter what a game's doing, and even if they accept it themselves that it's making missteps, they hate people talking about it, right? Because they just see it as drama farming around the whole situation. So I thought, you know what? Rather than just take this person's word for it, I thought let's have a little look into some of the Steam reviews, right? So I went through, obviously, at English first, and the reviews seem pretty decent to me. There's people from anywhere from 10 hours to 60, 70, 80 hours. You know, there's people with decent playtimes that you can be like, well, okay, you know, people talking about they might have low playtime on Steam, but they've played it on other platforms. But then I decided to switch to simplified Chinese, guys, okay? And you can see here, we've got a host of reviews here, and they all happen to be on the 12th of May, right? Which you might think, well, that's just people posting reviews, right? There's a lot here coming in on the 12th, right? There's a lot coming in on the 12th. That alone, very suspect. All with very little to say. I don't know exactly what this says. It's probably some positive statement, but very little to say, right? And all with around about 2.5 hours worth of playtime. All under 10 for the most part. You know, you got one here that's got a little bit more playtime. Here again, 13.6, 13.6. A little bit suspect as well. The ones that do have a little bit more, the same. Kind of odd. Almost as if, like, I don't know, the game's just been opened up on Steam through maybe botted accounts as well. Who knows? I don't know. You know, I'm not exactly sure how this is working. But you can see here, if we go to these, some of these are set to put public as well. You can look at their reviews, and they've only reviewed Infinity Nikki. Again, we can go to this one here, and again, you can see they've only reviewed Infinity Nikki again. So this is not a good look, right? This is not a good look. Now, I just want to put this out there once again. I am not accusing Infold of doing this. I wouldn't put it past any corporate entity to do this, but I'm just saying I'm not accusing them of it. I can't say what's going on here, but this is definitely a botting situation. There's no doubt about this to me. This is definitely a botting situation. This is just too coincidental of so many reviews posted on one day, so recent as well. You know, these have all happened in the last few hours. You know, these haven't been reviewed yet as well, so these have just been spammed out onto Steam at the moment, because you can have a look on Steam and filter them by if people found it helpful. They're usually good to go from, because, you know, you can usually see that other people have interacted with the review as well. But again, majority of these are low playtimes. Now, you see this one here. This one's got a 60 hours on record, so okay, maybe a little bit more to it again, but still only reviewed Infinity Nikki here, which again is interesting. Now we're going down to these ones, a little bit more playtime here. These were posted yesterday, but again, look at this. Posted yesterday, 41 hours, 41 hours, 41 hours. Now, is this the same person? Let me just double check. Let me just double check to make sure it's not the same person posting multiple. No, it's a different person, right? This is a different account. So, okay, we've got 3 accounts here, all different, all played exactly the amount of same amount of time, and all decided to post a positive review on the game yesterday. Now, that's sus in itself, right? You know, there's no denying that's sus. Now, we've got another group again, another batch on the same day. So it seems like what's happening here is each day there's like a batch of botted reviews coming in onto Steam. Again, here we've got another one, 41 hours. Let's have a look at their reviews. They've only reviewed Infinity Nikki. So can we look at recently played here? Dota 2 and Infinity Nikki. Now, again, it's like, okay, who's to say? Who's to say, right? Who's to say what's going on here? But it definitely doesn't... it doesn't look good, in my opinion. Again, there's a lot of these around the same amount of time, which is really weird in itself. Now, we're going down to ones here with a little bit more time again. 18 hours, 2.3 hours, 2.3 hours again, 2.4 hours, 2.3 hours. Weird that there's so many people with roundabout just the same amount of time on the game posting reviews exactly the same day. Really, really odd to see. I just wanted to put this out there for you guys because this is obviously happening, right? This is obviously happening, and that's going to skew the numbers. Hopefully Steam get round to sorting this out. Again, here we've got another batch, 2.4, 2.4, 2.4, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, a bunch at 2.5 here, all posted yesterday again. So I think it's pretty safe to say, guys, these are botted, right? These are botted accounts. These are botted reviews, should I say. These are definitely some sort of purchased group that's happening, and this is coming in and spamming the game. Again, not blaming Infold for this. This is not necessarily a video about Infold. I just think this is something to be aware of because, yeah, again, it's just adding to this whole situation that's going on around the game, right? Again, the person saying that I doubt it would be any individual. I'm not so sure, you know, it could be anybody. This could be somebody even attempting to make the game look worse by, like, not even going out of the way to make it even look somewhat real. This is clearly dodgy, right? You know, there's nothing conspicuous about this, inconspicuous about this at all. This is totally conspicuous. So, you know, it potentially could be somebody trying to do that, hoping that people are going to pick up on it and be like, wait a minute, what's going on over at Infinity Nikki? And then people maybe jump into the conclusion that it's Infold and then more mud can be thrown at the game and the company as a whole. So I wouldn't jump to that conclusion myself, but this is safe to say, look, come on, you know, again, we've got another review here. Again, Infinity Nikki is the only game reviewed on the account, all hosted on the same day. And we've got these batches that seem to be happening of 2.3, 2.3, 2.3, 2.4, you know, so there's obviously like some accounts being run in some way where they're just logging into the game, I'm assuming the account is, and it's probably just sitting there counting up the time on Steam, and then the reviews being automatically placed on the game. For them all to be around the same time as well, this is clearly like not just botted reviews, but botted time on the game as well. Not somebody literally sitting there themselves, I wouldn't think anyway, because look, again, another batch of 2.5, a big batch of 2.5 here, 2.2 hours, you know, 2.1, 2.1. There's definitely something going on here. There's definitely something going on here, guys. So I thought I would, you know, pass this on to you guys just to let you know, really. Again, I've found myself kind of fascinated by the whole thing that's going on with Infinity Nikki recently. And I am planning to play the game as well, actually. Throughout all of this, you know, again, I haven't played the game, so I'm not specifically critiquing the game. I'm just critiquing the whole thing going on around this. And I think it really would do Infold good to maybe speak on some of the issues. They've been very quiet on a lot of things, haven't they? And I think it's time for them to maybe come out, put the record straight. You know, these things with the diamond situation, if it's not happening, come out, tell people, look, what's happened. If that is happening, explain what's gone on. If it's bugs, explain it. If it's nefarious chargeback situations, explain it. Let people know. I think there's a lot of people out there at the minute in the space. They've got like major PTSD in the Infinity Nikki community, and I think it would do them good, really, for a little bit of peace of mind to come out and just kind of let people know what the hell's going on. And you know, hopefully Steam can get on top of this as well. And hey, you know what? If this video gets out to anybody working at Infold as well, I think it's worth getting over there, having a look what's going on your Steam page as well, because I'm sure, I would think anyway, that you guys don't want this, because this is clearly botted. You know, it's not even like going under the radar here, really. This is as clear as day. And anybody who like would bother to look will see that this is botted and this is not legit. And I think, you know, it would look better for you as a company to maybe try and get in contact with Steam as well and get some of these purged, because these are obviously dodgy reviews. You know, there's no doubt about it. These are dodgy reviews. So, yeah, guys, I'd love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. And have you seen anything about this? I'm finding this whole situation fascinating. It just doesn't seem to stop at the moment with Infinity Nikki, and it's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I thought I'd pass it on to you lot anyway to do with as you please. If you want to report it, you can report it. And if you enjoyed the video, guys, give it a like if you found it informative, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one.